So I've decided to buy myself a dedicated tuner pedal. I've made a previous video about tuners that are available to you. I'll put a link to that in the description. Really quickly, I mentioned the most basic ones you can get as like an app on your mobile phone. It'll look probably something like that or similar. That's the easy option. Cost nothing, these things are free. Well, that one certainly is. There's loads of other free ones out there. And I mentioned a step up from that. You can get these little clip-on tuners. I'll just switch it on so you can see the display on it. That just clips onto the headstock of your guitar. These are really great. I mean, they're between 5 and 10 quid depending on which model you get and where you get it from, but there's nothing wrong with these at all. They're good little tuners. Some are better than others. I'm a little bit jealous because some of my friends in the guitar group got one that's almost identical, but it's a lot more, seems a lot better than mine in terms of speed of how it'll actually pick up the notes. But anyway, they're decent for that sort of money. They're a decent little item. The great thing about these is they work on acoustic guitars as well as electric guitars, or anything that needs tuning. You just clip it on and it picks up the vibrations. So that's a brilliant thing about these little things. And you can just throw it in your case with your guitar and you've always got it with you then. So this has been fantastic. Now I've gone for a dedicated tuner pedal for the simple reasons that I was going getting some other pedals anyway and building myself what we call like a pedal board with a collection of pedals together mounted onto a board. So a pedal board does what it says on the tin. So I thought I'd treat myself and get a dedicated tuner pedal. Now this one is by a company called TGI. I'm not that familiar with, but it seems like a decent, well-made product. It's the main reasons why you might want something like this as opposed to the other solutions that I've just mentioned are that a dedicated tuner pedal like this is going to be, to start with, the screen's a lot bigger. So if I've got that, imagine I'm playing a concert or playing with a band, that's going to be on the floor and I can see immediately. I'll show you what it looks like when it's powered up. You can see straight away how bright and clear the screen is and how easy it is to tune using something like this. So that's one reason, that how easy it is to see. The second thing is these tend to be, the circuitry in them tends to be quite a lot better than the clip-on tuners, and by that I mean they tend to be a lot more faster and more responsive when you're trying to tune. So it tends to track, if you remember, if you've watched my other video, those other methods give you an indication of whether you're sharp or you're flat on your note and you tune accordingly. These tend to track a lot faster than those clip-on devices, or certainly the mobile phone devices. So that's the two main reasons for going for something like this. You'll notice it's got a foot switch on it as well. Now it's a tuner. Why does it need a foot switch? Well, the main reason for that is it's not so much to switch it on and off, because in a perfect world you'd probably have it always on so you can just tune, but the foot switch enables you to effectively mute your guitar signal. So again, example, if you're playing with a band and you notice you're slightly out of tune, before when your song ends and before you start the next song, you might just want to have a quick tune. So you press that, it mutes your entire signal, there's nothing coming through, so you can play your guitar, get it tuned without everyone hearing you doing your doon 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 tuning process. That's important because when using certainly electric guitar, you need to have your volume up on your guitar for the tune to pick it up, and if your volume's up, it's coming through your amp, so it'll save you having to go back to your amp and switch the volume down on your amp. So that's why that's really important. Secondly, as I mentioned, electric guitars, this type of tuner you need to actually plug into it with a cable, so it's no good for pure acoustic guitars. Electric guitars, yes. Bass guitars, anything that's got a connection on, yes. My acoustic guitar, fortunately, it's an electroacoustic guitar, so that'll plug into this just the same. I was aware of that, so this is great for me for tuning all my guitars. But if you're thinking about something like that and you've just got a standard acoustic guitar with no electronics on it, think again, because it's not going to work for you straight out of the box. So I'll do a close-up and let you have a look at how it looks when I'm actually tuning with it, and you can see the difference and the benefits from there. So let's have a quick go over this tuning now, just so you can see the basics of how it works. I've got my electric guitar plugged in, so what I've done before I started the vid is I've just detuned my E string a little bit, so that it's purposely out of tune, so that when I play it, you'll see on the display it's coming up as a D sharp or an E flat, so I know automatically that that's too flat or the too low in pitch. You can see that my little indicator there is on this side, on the lower side, so what I need to do is tune up and tighten the string. So I'm going to tighten the peg to adjust the string tension. So there I'm in tune with D sharp, but it's my E string, so I want to be in E. So I'm going to keep on going up. You can see the indicator rising, and then we get to E. See that little arrow on the left hand side? That's also telling me that I need to sharpen, to tighten, and I'm going to keep going up to the middle there, and then it lights up beautifully bright when I hit the correct pitch, and it's telling me that I'm in E, not in D sharp or any other note. So that's the reason for using a tuner like this. So there you go, nice and clear and easy display. Track's really fast for your tuning, so it's doing everything I want it to do. Great investment, particularly if you get to the point where you're playing with others or playing with a band or something like that. For bedroom practice, and when you're just starting out, it's probably an unnecessary expense. But as you play for a little bit longer and start getting a little bit more serious about it, then I certainly recommend something like this. They're not that expensive. I can't remember how much I paid. I will look it up, and if I can find the what I paid for it, I'll put it in the description. But they're not that expensive to have that quality and reliability of tuning. Because don't forget, I mentioned, I think in my other tuning video, if you're not in tune, doesn't matter how hard you practice, your playing is going to sound rubbish. Because if you're not in tune, your playing isn't going to be in tune, so it's going to sound like you're playing wrong, even if you're playing right. So tuners are good. Enjoy.